why should I use the Epic Game Store? The obvious one would be Fortnite, but I in fact don't like Fortnite. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. It does what it wants to well, but I don't particularly like what it wants to do. Battle Royale is not my thing. I'm not even really into competitive games very much. So, given that, why would I use Epic? Well, for The Division 2. The Division 2 is a game that the more I see of it, the more I want to give it a shot. But it's Epic exclusive for the moment. And I already have Origin for Dragon Age, which is a game I couldn't live without. And every time I boot up Origin, it takes 10 minutes because I never boot it up. And then another 10 minutes because it's logged me out every single time, and I can't always remember my password. I have to figure out my password every time I log in, or every time I turn on the application. Which is fine. It's worth it for Dragon Age. But for The Division 2, I don't know. The game looks good, but I'm still sort of on the fence about it. Moreover, Epic's Game Store has been accused of spying on users, so that's something to think about, but I'm not really going to talk about that until more information about that comes out. Then there's the review system, which is really important to me. Steam's review system is wonderful. It's user reviews. You don't have a bunch of fucking people that write articles and shit and get paid for this for the most part. You just have random people on the street typing out freaking the game things about the games they played, and I trust that a lot more. You also have review bombing, which I think is actually a legitimate way of communicating shit. DDRM so bad that it doesn't that it crashes your game. Yeah, you know what? That is a good reason to perhaps not buy the game, and is a legit thing, even though it's technically review bombing. Epic, and then there's political shit, if we want to get really bad. For instance, a game says, I'm not going to talk about anything political outside of what's in the game. Talk about the game. The game's not, the company's not political. I think that is a reason to support the company for being above it. It's a good thing. Or, for instance, if the game talks about gun control inside the game, and it talks about how, well, people with guns survive the social breakdown of the world, people without didn't. That's also kind of a reason to support the game, if you believe in that. Or, you know, if you don't, then you're like, oh, dude, that's weird, I don't want to deal with that shit. And you don't deal with that. Epic's Game Store has no review system at the moment. The review system it plans on implementing can be opted out by developers. Think that's shitty as fuck. That is horrible. Review systems, it will like just shut down anytime there's any controversy, and anyone just a little bit of a creative mind can turn anything into a controversy. I mean, they turned a joke PewDiePie said about niggas into a fucking massive controversy. It wasn't. He accidentally said the damn word when he got pissed off. It happens. So, shit's gonna be just constantly shut down, and it's bad. I mean, Steam is, unfortunately, it looks like gonna be trying to censor some reviews, but it can be opted out on the user side, not the publishers. The users have the ability to opt out, not the publishers. I mean, that is just a huge distinction that needs to be made. So, given all that, in my opinion, I'm not switching to that Epic Game Store unless they massively improve the quality of life, or they're gonna have to give me a game that's so epic, so awesome that I can't live without. Preferably both, because I always want an awesome game, and I would prefer massive quality of life to the point that it can properly compete with Steam. It's just not worth it right now. The prices might be better for the developers, but as a user, I'd rather just wait a while. Or even just use the developer's store, even. rather than Epic. Anyway.